Hey guys, what's up? I'm Matty Ray and I'm bringing you a really freaking cool video today. So this is my little story, the behind the scenes of how I made a board for Braille Skateboarding. Now it started out with an idea. I'm a huge fan of Braille Skateboarding. I've been watching them for quite some time now. They always do these videos on you make it, we skate it. And I thought that was a great idea. I love watching these videos where people literally send boards from everywhere to these guys, and no matter what they freaking get, these guys literally try to skate every single thing they get. So I was thinking in my head, what can I make? What can I make? What kind of board can I make? Because I wanted to make something for these guys to skate. I've been watching them skate all these other people's boards, and I was like, I can make a board for them. This seems like it's nothing. So there was a couple ideas I was throwing around. First, I was gonna make a board literally out of the Zelda Master Shield, and I was like, this is gonna be a pain in the neck. I literally thought in my head, I want to make a board that's a metal shield that they can literally pick up like this, and it's like a shield. Like they can hold it like a shield, and it would be hilarious, and then, you know, they can just sit there and skate on it. But I was like, that's too much work. I don't even know where to start on that one, and I don't have the tools necessary to make a freaking metal shield skateboard for them to skate on. And then what if these guys, like, cut their leg on the metal? Like, I'm gonna feel bad, and then I'm gonna feel like it was my fault. I mean, these guys fall and hurt themselves every day, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but in the end, it actually does matter. And there was a couple of other ideas, and one of them also was another Zelda thing. I was gonna make the Master Sword. That would have been really interesting, and I was actually kind of worried that if I had made a Master Sword out of wood or any type of material, it probably would have snapped easily, especially if it was like a thin piece of wood, and these guys are like jumping off 5 stairs on it. I was like, this isn't gonna work. They're literally gonna snap in like 2 seconds. Then I thought of a great idea. It actually makes the most sense out of all the items, because once again I was thinking along the lines of Zelda, because I wanted this to be a gaming themed board, because my channel is mostly gaming and I love gaming, and literally gaming is part of my life since I was a freaking little kid. And what better way to celebrate that nostalgia by putting in some TRIFORCE. So I ended up coming up with the TRIFORCE board, and it was a great idea in my head, but then at the same time I was thinking about all of the ideas and like what things I can do to make this into a board that's skatable. Because if you think about it, the TRIFORCE from Zelda is literally a perfect triangle with 45-degree angles. I don't think that would be good. I mean, I literally wanted to make them something that was possible to do tricks on, was possible to cruise on. I didn't want them struggling with this literal freaking perfect triangle where it was just gonna be maybe freaking spinning in place when they were trying to do tricks and stuff. And the trucks would be so freaking close, unless the TRIFORCE was like this freaking big. So now we're going to take a behind the scenes look of all the steps that I took, and I did cut out a couple things, and then I'll explain the rest at the end, what I didn't show in the behind the scenes. But let's get right into it. Alright guys, let's take a look. So as stated on my last video, I'm doing a how-to on how to build a board for Braille Skate themed the TRIFORCE board. Now this board is actually going to test my limits on how I can make a board for them to skate. I do have a piece of wood, and I have to cut it out in the right way so that's actually skatable. I can't really make a perfect triangle of a TRIFORCE, otherwise these guys are going to have a really hard time doing tricks, and I want them to do tricks. So I've been doing a lot of cleaning up in this workshop. This was my dad's old workshop from a long time ago before he passed away, and I cleaned it up a little bit because it was a huge freaking mess. I have my table saw here, and I have a sander over there that I'm going to be using later on to sand it down. And then I have the piece of wood right here. But we're going to have to do a test on this because I do not know how strong and durable this piece of wood is. It is from an older computer desk from a long time ago. It seemed pretty solid, but we're going to do a test on these bricks with different pieces of wood in order to determine if these guys can really jump down a 5-stair without it snapping. So I got these bad boys in the position that the trucks would be about. Now this board is definitely not going to be as big as a regular skateboard, but we got to do a test. No good. So this thing, if you jump down a 5-stair, it would just snap. So I decided to go really freaking heavy duty. Now this is really freaking thick, but I figure once I cut this baby down, it's definitely not going to have the weight that it did have. So we're going to try this and see how it goes. I think I'm going to do a test really quick to see if it works, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to break. Well, I thought this was heavy duty enough, but guess what? It snapped right in half, so all my theory is destroyed. Alright, so I found this piece. It's a little longer than the other ones, but it's actually a lot stronger and a lot more durable than the other ones. It's kind of heavy, but once I cut down corners, hopefully it cuts a lot of weight off of this bad boy, and these guys are going to be able to skate this thing. First, we're going to do a test. Now if this thing breaks, I don't even know what to say. Now I'm just letting you know, I'm going to be cutting pieces of wood, and I'm not wearing any protection because I'm an idiot. So there's a lot of dust in here, there's a lot of things happening. I have my triangle. I know it's not a perfect triangle, but my theory is because the board is a little longer like this, it's going to be a lot easier to do tricks on than it would if it was an exactly perfect triangle. Then it would be kind of bulky on like either side and it wouldn't work that well. Really quick, I'm just going to cut the end off and square this out a little bit, and then we're going to actually round it out and make this more of a rounded edge skateboard. Because this, if it goes into your shin, Alright, so we have our triangle with my belt sander over there. I'm probably going to round out every single edge that I have. The main thing I have to do now is to sketch out the actual triangle pattern, because what we're going to do is we're going to try to engrave the triangle inside of the triangle so that it looks more realistic. So it's really dusty in here, but we do have our triangle now. I hope you guys can see that, but I did round the edges around the entire triangle. The only thing that we have to do left is to paint, to cut out the triangle itself within the triangle, and to put the grip tape. Alright, so I learned something new about my saw, my table saw here. I actually figured out how to lower the blade. So I lowered this blade over here really, really, really low so that I can actually engrave the lines in the TRIFORCE. Last thing I have to do is I have to add colored grip tape onto this, or I have to get black grip tape and just spray paint it like yellow or whatever, and then slap it onto the board. Otherwise, I'd say this is a pretty done deal. I do have to shave this off a bit again. I have to smooth it off because I had to actually shape this a little more because the shape wasn't that accurate. But now the shape is I'm pretty satisfied with the shape, so it's pretty good. Alright guys, so it's been a couple days. I actually did 2 coats on my board. I actually painted it completely black because what we're going to do is we're going to cut out some of this grip tape I just bought and fit it onto the triangles of the board, and that's going to be the grip tape for them to use. And then we're going to leave this one just plain black, the same color as the grip tape, so it'll blend in better with the black surrounding. And hopefully when it comes out, it'll look just like the TRIFORCE. We might do a little bit of red and orange painting to make it look more three-dimensional with a color of a real TRIFORCE from the Legend of Zelda games. But hopefully it comes out great. So right now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be marking out the grip tape for me to cut in the different shapes of the triangles, and we'll take it from there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get some last dimensions on these because I do have all my pieces now. But we want to get them exactly perfect because when we put these pieces on, they have to match up the right way. And 3 of these pieces are going to be painted yellow with my yellow spray paint that I bought. So they got to be exact when I'm going to put this thing on the board. Now we don't want all this overhang on each piece and each section, so we got to kind of cut it a little bit more in from what we put our line. So now we finalized all of our pieces here. We have all 4 intersections of the triangle itself. One of them I'm going to stick on because I'm actually going to do another coat of the black to create a smoother looking black finish on the skateboard itself. And that's going to be the inner part. I'm pretty sure it's this one. And we're going to stick that on there and do another coat of paint before we do our yellow coat on these pieces. So now that we got our first grip tape piece on the board, I can go ahead and give this baby a 3rd coat, and then we'll be ready to do our yellow triangles. Now I did paint the board, but I had to stand outside for a couple seconds because I did have the door open to this garage, but the only problem is, sorry for the loud noise in the background, that is my air compressor, but I had to stand outside for a couple minutes because literally I'm sitting here breathing in freaking, oh man. Don't do this inside of a building, do not. The only reason I'm doing it inside this building is because it's the easiest place to do it with lighting. Just don't do it. So this is the spray paint that I got. I love this brand, Rust-Oleum. I think they're one of the cheaper but better spray paints out there. I even used this to spray paint my airsoft gun that I have, and it came out great. So I got this yellow one. We used the black one for the board. And then we got this gloss finish on the yellow because I feel like the gloss finish will make this pop a little more and give it the TRIFORCE look that it needs. So we're just going to shake this up a bit, and then we're going to spray paint these last pieces right here. This is literally the only pieces that I need to be yellow, except for the Braille logo that I'm putting on the back. That's going to be it for that, and then we're going to have to wait for my skateboard to dry. We're going to have to wait for this to dry before we can actually apply all these things together. And the last step that I'm going to do on this board is on the back will be the Braille logo with maybe a couple stripes or designs to make it pop or stand. Now I got this red slash orangey, it's actually, yeah, it's red. I got this red spray paint, and this is gonna, it's kind of old, but it's gonna, what it's gonna do is essentially blend this to give a darker look to the edges of the yellow itself. And we can give it more of an orange tone by kind of spray painting the yellow while it's wet with the red, and it will kind of like blend together. And it will create darker edges around the yellow to make it have the appearance that it's a 3-dimensional object, which it really is, but we don't want it to look too flat. Now I'm letting these coats actually dry for a few minutes before actually going in and doing another coat. You do not want to sit there and overload the paint right away on the first coat, because that's how you get those wetter, terrible images that you see when you do a spray painting and it doesn't come out the way you want it to. So I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to put another coat of red lining, and then we're going to do another coat of the yellow, and it should be fine to apply to our board, but that's going to take probably up to an hour before that fully dries so we can apply it. Okay, so now we have our 3 pieces of the TRIFORCE, and these are going to go onto our board, hopefully making this thing pop and look like the TRIFORCE board. That is what I am aiming for. The back of the board is going to be mostly black, but what we're going to do is we're going to put the Braille logo on the back, and then we're going to put a few stripes, and hopefully, like I said, this already, hopefully that makes the back pop a little more and make it a little more unique. So basically, the yellow pieces dried, I put them on. I'm not going to show you guys quite yet. I have this concept going where I have the dots of Braille, the logo, spelled out, which is just B, on the back here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a notch in each little hole. Then I'm going to drill out a slight hole and then stick this grip tape that's going to be painted yellow in the holes, and we're going to get this B effect in yellow on the back. Then I'm probably going to add a stripe or two up here just to give this board some depth on the back, because I didn't have a plan to put the entire TRIFORCE on the back. I really didn't want to spend the time doing that again. I just wanted to get the full front effect. When you're riding the board, it looks like the TRIFORCE. But I at least want to pay homage to Braille and put their letter right on the back. So I have my electric drill here, and I'm just going to drill into the board and make the holes necessary. It's going to be a slight hole. It's not going to be a big hole, but it's going to be enough just to stick the grip tape on and give that effect. Now, it's a little off, it's a little imperfect, but it doesn't matter because it's still going to have this beautiful logo on the back, and they're going to recognize it right away. And once I have these stripes up here and all these effects, you're never going to even notice the difference. So it is cold outside, so I'm not going to be able to actually finish my board this second or in the next few minutes. I'm going to have to let the stripes dry. I'm going to have to let those dots dry. Once that's done, I can fit in the Braille pieces, and the board will be completely done. And when it's completely dry and all done, I will show you guys the final image. So instead of showing you guys the full final board product at the end of that, I decided I'd do it in this little video here. So this is it. This is the fully completed Braille TRIFORCE board, and I think it's a pretty cool and unique board. It's definitely gaming themed. There's a little bit of tweaks that I did to it in order to make this board actually rideable. So I'll explain the board again, I mean from front to back. You guys saw in the footage there all the steps that I took, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I got the grip tape here. This is awesome. I think the grip tape actually adds a really nice texture to it, because when you look at it, you're looking at a picture, you're looking at the actual freaking picture of a TRIFORCE, but because it's grip tape, it gives it like this freaking texture that's So as I explained, I made the shape. Actually, I don't remember if I explained or not, but anyways, I made the shape a lot longer than the TRIFORCE because I already told you guys that I did not want a perfect triangle. I don't think it would have worked that well, but because we have a longer shaped board, we can put like the trucks here toward the front, and then we can put like the trucks in the middle toward the back. That way these guys have an actual tail and a freaking front to actually do some tricks on. I know it doesn't have like a indented lip, but that doesn't matter. These guys can figure it out. They don't need a lip. These guys are pros. I did have, this is actually an error by the way, at first. I ran into a problem where I made this gap a little too large. So in order to cover it up, I kind of added some texture in it and made it look like a cool, symmetrical freaking zigzag thing. I don't even know what the frick that is. But anyways, I did like different layers of cutting and added like a texture in the middle. And I actually kind of like it. It kind of separates like the front from the back. But yeah, then I did the indentations into here to make it look like the TRIFORCE actually pops. And I had that big indentation, which I didn't want. I actually wanted just like a small gap in between. But whatever. What are you going to do about it? In terms of the back of the board, I really didn't know what to do. I didn't want to do the TRIFORCE again on the back. I thought that was redundant to do. So what I did was I just did a unique freaking B symbol in the Braille logo lettering. And I just added a couple freaking stripes up here using some tape. I taped it off and did some spray painting. And very simple. With these, I actually took a compass and I cut it into the grip tape in a circle shape. And you guys saw how I drilled in to the board itself, so I could kind of make it flush, but at the same time, it's not, well, flush, but at the same time, it's not flush, because it has that freaking Braille, it has that, like, unique grip tape feeling, so it's kind of like reading Braille, you know, but it's not. It's Braille, but it's not Braille, but it is Braille. So I have really nothing else to say about this, except for the fact that it is going to be featured on You Make It, We Skate It, and I'm going to be shipping it after this freaking video. It took a while to put this video up, and I'm very happy that it's finally up for you guys to see, because I really put a lot of creative thinking and a lot of work into this project, and I think I might do more of these in the future, and I really hope this turns out great. If you guys want to share this video, that would be amazing. If you guys want to like the video, that'd be even better. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, that'd be even better. If you guys want to leave a comment of anything else you want to see on my channel, or what you thought about this skateboard, leave it in the comments down below. Go and check out Braille Skateboarding's channel. They are an awesome channel, and I hope they're the best. That's going to be it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace, love you.